I briefly debated doing this video in complete silence, but I just can't help myself. I have to talk about these beautiful seeds. These are white lupin, commonly known white lupin or sweet lupin, Lupinus albus. It is a food crop that's been grown in the Mediterranean for thousands of years. It's kind of a superfood. I mean, not quite, but almost a superfood. Very high protein. Fixes its own nitrogen. And of course, like most lupins, high toxicity amyloid quantity in the beans. However, it has the lowest amyloid content of all lupins, as far as I know, to the point where it's actually feasible to eat them, assuming that you properly denature the amyloids and leach out the amyloids. And this can be done with water. Just soaking the beans in water will actually leach out the amyloids. And they say what you should do is soak them for 24 hours and then boil them and then soak them again in fresh water for seven consecutive days, where each day you change the water out and soak the beans for another 24 hours if you want to be absolutely safe. And I've done that with some beans. I'm actually gonna try some of them out. I soaked just 50 because I'm saving these seeds intentionally for the next generation. I'm trying to naturalize them to my coastal environment, and so far I'm pretty pleased with the results, because these beans are about 3 times larger than the seeds that I originally ordered online. So they've been successfully naturalized. And it's kind of cool when you soak them in water, they swell up even larger. Not all of these pods are pristine. Some of these pods have some fungal incursion happening. I don't know what exactly this is. It probably doesn't destroy the seeds, but I've been kind of discarding those just as a matter of principle, trying to cultivate the most robust possible variety here. So yeah, basically I harvested all these pods a couple weeks ago, and then I put them on this, what I have is a framed screen here, a bronze screen that sits about 3 inches above the surface of the table, and I just spread the beans out on there. And even if they're green, they'll eventually dry out and completely until they're, like this, they're actually quite tough. And I was going to say that's one of the best things about these beans, or one of my favorite things, is because they're intrinsically poisonous, you don't have to worry very much about predation. Although that's not true for the plants. Gophers, pocket gophers, absolutely love the plants. And what they'll do is they'll eat all the roots, or they'll eat the tap root, and then the plant falls over, and they'll actually come out of the ground near the plant and eat everything. They'll eat the beans, they'll eat the flowers, they'll eat the stem, and sometimes they'll even pull the entire plant into the ground if the plants are small enough. Although usually they grow to be about 5 or sometimes even 6 feet tall, but usually around 5 feet high and about 2 to 3 feet wide. So they're pretty hardy plants. Maybe like the stems at their thickest might be as thick as my thumb. So been having a lot of fun with these. Apparently the USDA is giving out grants for farmers to grow these as a food crop. Kind of interested in that. I might try to get a grant at some point, but So far I'm just really impressed with the hardiness of the plant, and of course part of my goal this past summer was to create a nitrogen fixing garden, because I mean, really, I'd have to say the impetus for that first came from my desire to be a good ecological community member and use as little inputs as possible and to build soil. And then after the idealism kind of wore off, I was like, well, I'm poor and I can't really afford the deliveries of expensive compost like I used to get that basically made my garden incredible. So now I'm having to innovate, and of course nitrogen fixing legumes are the perfect crop to grow if you have input troubles. Alright, so that's all I'm going to say for now, and thanks for watching.